Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Roleplay. I'm your host, Duhad, and this is your GM, Belial.
Hi, everybody.
And your player, Kit.
Do not adjust to your TV. Do not adjust to your computer monitor either, which would be more likely. We are, in fact, back.
Well, we, as in the three of us.
Hi.
So... yeah, we're kind of down a few players. We might have a new one joining us pretty soon, but there's been some shakeups and some changes on the back end. But have no fear, my friends. We are going to hopefully get this rickety old boat back in the water and sailing in a westward direction.
Gosh, it's been so long since we've done anything.
It's been over a month since we've had last role playing game. Possibly longer.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm seeing, a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
back in 2018. Remember 2018?
But anyway, as a quick refresher of what happened, for those of you who, do go back and rewatch everything.
Go back and rewatch everything for us, please. We need the views.
It's fine. So anyway, for a quick refresher, what ended up happening was there was a big, huge fight with the suits that resulted in a bunch of people dying, with both Edward and Malvolio being taken out of the game, and so our heroes, in heavy quotation marks, more like convicts, I guess.
Not convicts yet.
Okay, on the lam.
Technically wanted criminals.
We are riding that sheep.
Yeah, have found their way inside of a tent city to hopefully hide away from the government, which is currently in DC, searching for them. Although they're probably more focused on the fact that, a giant explosion happened with several agents dying. So,
weren't we right outside of the U.S. National Post Office?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, big old things.
So we blew up a government building, in addition to...
Now, we didn't blow up a government building.
This isn't the first time.
Who dropped the grenade? Whose grenade was it?
That was the suits.
Okay.
Yeah, the suits actually did it themselves.
So, the suits blew up a tanker outside of a government building.
It wasn't a tanker, it was a tour bus.
No, remember, the tour bus smashed into a tanker, I think.
No, it smashed into you.
I thought it was a semi of some description, but it doesn't really much matter.
There's a bunch of cars involved, and they all blew up.
Yeah.
And
so anyway, big explosion, big death, cool happenings. Now you find yourselves in the middle of a tent city. You're ravaged. You're injured. You're covered in garbage. You're not having a very good time. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and shit's fucked right now.
So we're kind of just making our way through the tent city, trying to keep a low profile while moving on. And speaking of keeping a low profile and moving on, I think because it's been so fucking long, we should probably go over aspects.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Might even want to go over the descriptions of the characters.
Yeah. So why don't we reintroduce ourselves as we're walking along? Leading the way in as much as anyone can lead the way when there's only exactly two people and they're going in the same direction with no actual clear plan is MCA.
No. There are three people.
Oh yeah, that's right. Fran's still here. Fran's alive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so it's MCA, aka Major Kaz Ashford. She is currently suffering from the moderate effects of the car crash that everybody was in. Her high concept is that she's a burgeoning two-fisted people's hero, but she has the trouble that she has enemies everywhere, even more, increasingly more so. It used to just be because she was a former spy with a lot of baggage. Now it's because the government's also after her. And so are everybody. We're really making a lot of friends.
Everyone's on our shit list.
Yeah.
Well, no. We're on everyone else's shit
We're on everybody's list. She has the aspects that there's always another way. She prefers to find non-lethal means of solving problems whenever possible. She's a former Order agent because she used to be part of the vampire hunting Order 52. She firmly believes that the truth is out there, and the truth is kind of bubbling to the surface at the moment. She is dedicated to bringing down the big guy. She has a soft spot for family tragedy, and she's Fran's student and protector. And that's pretty much her. She's got some stunts as well. She can break things down. She's a heroic brawler. She can use the method, and she can threaten people with her incredibly terrifying stand, which allows her to break anything apart into its component pieces, including people.
That's spooky.
Yeah.
Lee.
Right, yeah. There is a slender Chinese-American man walking alongside. He is also shaking off the effects of being in a car crash and having a pistol pitched into his face in the fight. He doesn't know if he's a hero, but he used to play one on the silver screen. That is his high concept. The big things are coming for him, and he says, "Bring it on," which is kind of a bit of trouble. He is a disgrace to his family, but his siblings do love him. He is always apt to pour one out for our civil rights. He is what he is, and due to his connections with some of the underworld, he will handle things with a pair of tongs. He is the master and frequent student of the Shaw family martial arts, and he tries to be a good man. He also is in possession of a muse by the name of Wirework, which allows him to create supernatural martial arts in which the muse goes ahead and puppets him through. He is a former Hong Kong stuntman, so he gets to roll with it when things get nasty. He has lightning hands and knows ancient Chinese secrets. They're pressure points, okay? And he's always up for doing a little bit of schmoozing and boozing.
Neat. So the last of our rambunctious three is Fran. Used to be known as Sunny when her fake identity meant anything. So Fran, known as, is a blue sky agent who, whose high concept is that she is a redemption-seeking blue sky agent. Her trouble is that she's done things that she regrets, and she has several aspects: loyal friend, pines for lost brother, eidetic memory. She knows you're lying, and she's just being nice. The kindness of strangers, what's legal and what's right, and secret methods. And then obviously she has several stunts, some of them having to do with her muse, which, as y'all may have known if you actually watched Major 2, not sure if you have, is then it can change states of things. Yeah. So there you go. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, everyone still has the car crash debuff, I think, until the end of this.
Until the end of the session.
Yep, they were all immersing the moderate.
It took 1 trillion years for us to reach this point.
So so it's been a couple of hours. It's been like an hour since the last session in game time. We're still kind of like stumbling and bumbling our way.
You've made yourself made your way into a rather large tent city that's somewhat out of the way of everything. It doesn't look like the government has even come to touch this place, probably with good reason. But regardless, you probably, You either may think you fit in quite well, but you probably don't, given the fact that most of you are wearing fairly lavish clothing, just covered in horrible ash from the explosions. So
ash, blood.
So you kind of stand out like a sore thumb. You get a few eyes. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are afraid, especially given the fact that they probably have heard the massive explosion. In the distance behind you, you can still see the plumage of smoke billowing from the wreckage, which gives you about a fair idea of where the distance is from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, MCA is kind of looking around for any sort of car or other, thing we could use to get the fuck out of here a bit faster.
Lee is looking at a watch and taps it. I swear, this concussion. I swear, I know that it hasn't been that long, but it feels like it's been months. Oh, man, my sense of time is all fucked up. Is this thing broken?
There's a
Taps at it again. It's broken.
There's a giant crack in the middle of it, so I'd say so.
Well, I mean, yeah, the glass, but I was hoping that the complications were fine.
No, see right underneath the glass. It's also the metal underneath.
Yeah, he takes it off and starts looking at the back. Oh, that's a mess.
Yeah, that's probably not something you're going to be able to fix too easily.
Lee looks over at MCA. You think I can fix this? I can do a lot of things. Watch repair is not one of them.
I don't know. Kind of full of surprises. She looks over at Fran and says, "Hey, kid, how you holding up?"
Well, I mean, it's a big change.
I mean, in terms of like, are you still bleeding? Is everything one piece?
No, I'm just, the loss of 2 people and in a giant explosion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure they were both still alive by the time we left them, so probably still okay.
We'll see how long they are. Hopefully, it wasn't looking too good.
Kid's gonna be better off in the hands of the government than he's gonna be, being carried along with us in the middle of. She kind of waves around at the incredibly unsanitary environment they're currently, shuffling through.
Yeah, I guess.
If you had any internal injuries, if we had gone ahead and moved him, it would have killed him right then and there.
That's fair, I guess. Yeah. You were looking for something, MCA?
We need a car. We need to get out of this place before, the feds start swarming down and locking everything off.
I don't know if everyone here can drive cars. Has access to
She shakes
cars.
her head. I don't mean here in the middle of the tent city. I mean, we need to go and find a car.
I guess. I mean,
Lee nods towards the bay. What about a boat?
Sea escapes very, very rarely work.
I'll defer to your professional opinion.
Yeah, trust me on this one. It's not too difficult for a helicopter to follow a boat, and a car is a lot less conspicuous.
MCA, you spot what looks to be a very large, next to a fairly large tent. It looks to be what may be vehicles underneath like the underneath plastic tarping.
She kind of, her eyes narrow a little bit because clearly this is not, normal for a random tent city to have a bunch of cars hidden under tarps. So
it looks fairly fresh too, as if this was moved in here very recently.
Yeah, that actually makes it even more suspicious. So she signals for the other 2 to be ready for a fight, and so points out the tarps.
Okay.
You should do the honors.
She looks like...
Is there anyone around there who, looks like they're keeping an eye on that, or anyone who's, sitting near?
I mean, it doesn't look like anyone is sitting near. You imagine they're probably inside of the tent, next to it.
Okay, so, who's sneakiest?
What's your,
My sneaky approach is a 1.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Oh, Fran's got a 3.
Okay, yeah. So MCA looks to Fran, says, "So why don't you just try and get over there nice and quiet? Like, don't draw too much attention."
You know what would be nice is if I actually had my my dice at the ready. That's something that I probably should have.
I'll roll for you, and you can just add her thing. So that's going to be a positive 3, plus her 3 for a 6.
Yeah, that would be a 6.
Yeah, so that's a pretty substantial success.
Yeah, so she cautiously moves over there, mostly silent footsteps. Although that's not really that hard to do.
Yeah.
But given it's gravel, it's pretty all right, I guess. And she moves it away. Moves part of the tarp away to show off a very familiar looking vehicle. In fact, you may recognize this as the vehicle that almost injured Edward. It's Adam's motorcycle.
MCA's like eyes kind of like widen and then narrow again, and like you can almost like see the gears moving around in her head as she's like processing this information. And Fran moves the tarp a little more, and you can see that there's another vehicle. You imagine that it's his team that's here.
Yeah. So how much you want to bet that Dick Daddy's around?
I would put pretty good odds on it. More than that, though, I'm kind of wondering why it is that every time we show up in a place and run into trouble, Adam's, right there.
To be fair, he's probably following the same path that we are.
Even so, just like, he was camped out at the place we were camped out. He's, prepped up here. Like, this isn't just normal, like, following the trail. This following the same trail. Like, he and his team got here in advance and then set down, instead of at a hotel, right here, right nearby where we're going to end up being. Like, something's fishy about this. Something doesn't add up.
Fran just shrugs. Do you think we should say hi?
No.
I mean, alright.
Lee is actually going to look over at NCA at this point. Before you are all for going ahead and saying hello to Adam, do you want to stay away from the rest of the team?
I'm not sure exactly how I feel about what's going on right now. Either something a lot more sinister going on behind the scenes, or they have someone who has more information than we realized. Either way, I'm kind of taking a moment to just, stand back and try and figure out what's going on before we, let our guard down and end up getting trapped in a third ambush.
It would make for a nice change of pace to not be in one.
That's my feeling.
All of you roll stealth.
Positive. Let's see here. It's 1. That's a 6. So those cancel each other out. 2 5s plus 1. Positive 3.
Same for me.
Oh, Fran got a positive 2.
So she got a 5 then.
No, in total.
Oh, in total.
Roll real bad.
She rolled pretty poop. So you hear footsteps coming by from out of from the tent, and I imagine both of you try and duck away behind some kind of cover and successfully do that, only for Fran to accidentally knock over the motorcycle, like just enough to where it knocks into the other vehicle and creates a bang noise.
Yeah.
And
cause a scratch.
And you see it's actually Adam, thankfully, who looks over and spots her. Fran?
Lee looks over at MCA. Well, We might not have much of a choice. Or do you want to slink away and see if we can, keep watch on this?
MCA is going to see if she can see if anyone else is keeping an eye on Adam. If there are other people who are seeing Adam, keeping an eye on Adam as Adam notices Fran.
It doesn't really seem so. Well, you don't really see anyone. It may be a bit too dark, or B, there's just too much tarp covering up the entrance.
All right. Yeah. So let's see.
What are you doing here?
So MCA is going to take her empty gun and try and slip up behind Adam and press it against the back of his head.
All right. Then roll me a stealth thing.
Right.
Add any of the obviously appropriate aspects or whatever, or, appropriate stunt stuff.
Okay, so
it's been a while.
So it's going to be a +2.
All right.
Lee is going to stay where he is, pull out the gun that he lifted off of the actor, and keep watch.
Oh my god, you have a real gun now. I mean, it was
thrown at my face.
Oh god. What was your total MCA?
+2.
Okay, and what about?
Sneaky for this as well?
Yeah.
That one is going to end up being a 2.
Wow. Everyone's kind of rolling okay-ish.
Positive is not too bad. Keep in mind that the average is 0.
You're right.
So,
but at this level,
we're not actually that high level.
Shh. It's fine.
We've only got a +1 in total over standard characters.
That's fair.
For our sneakums.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just mean in general in terms of experience.
Oh, right, yeah.
We've only been given a single advantage player.
Dan, Adam asked Fran, "Are you alone, or did?" Oh wow, you're really fucked up. Is that from the explosion, or did Fran sort of, obviously caught off guard?
So well, if I can sneak up behind him and put the gun to the back of his head, MCA just sort of goes "Hello, Adam."
MCA?
Don't turn around.
Oh.
And she presses the barrel against the back of his neck so he can feel it.
Wow.
You're gonna want to back up.
He does the awkward thing where by backing up, he accidentally backs further into the gun.
No, that's the idea. As he is backing along with him, she's trying to get him out.
I was like, oh, okay, this would be awkward.
No, she's walking back with him. She's trying to get him to move out of visual range of the tent, without making it too obvious that he's being coerced.
Yeah. He does so. I mean, what? Why are you putting a gun against my head?
Precautions. You noticed the explosion a little while ago?
Well, yeah, it's still going on. He did gestures his hand towards a giant fucking plume of smoke.
Bro, are you bringing him back to where we were observing from?
Yeah, where we were assuming from.
Yeah, when you get there, Lee is going to be sitting with, the gun held in a fairly casual manner. It's been a bad day.
Yeah.
Funny how you always seem to show up whenever that happens.
Okay. This is a competition all about killing people. I don't understand how...
She kind of gestures to the tent city. You left before us, and yet you ended up parked here, just right next to where we happened to get caught.
But you think that getting into a tent city is, weirdly suspicious?
Especially
when the whole city's blockaded?
When you're as wealthy as you are and have access to regular hotels, yeah, it's a little bit suspicious.
I'm not nearly as wealthy as you think.
I'm pretty sure you could rent a motel if you needed to. Why the deception? Why this place?
But he lowers his voice. Our contact, remember?
He's here?
Yeah.
She looks over at Fran to make sure she's safely away from the bike by now.
Yeah. Fran nods her head
Right.
as she basically went the long way around. She's still making her way back, but she's going the long way around in order to avoid just being seen.
Yeah, MCA quickly pats down Adam for any weapons, and then removes any she finds, and then holsters her empty gun.
Does Lee also holster his gun?
Lee does not holster his gun, however, the gun disappears.
Okay. Thank God. I'm glad you all made it out of the explosion.
MCA just sort of is clearly not done being suspicious, even though she's no longer being actively threatening.
Lee just goes ahead and brushes a little bit of ash off of his shoulder. Would not be the first time that I've got caught in an explosion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're not the only team right here. Although other tent cities I hear have some of the other remaining competitors. Although obviously there's not many left.
Whose idea was it on your team to go ahead and roll up here?
Well, me, sort of.
Sort of?
I don't really map out the route. I just really pushed for specific places to stop.
Lee just raises an eyebrow at that.
Again, in order to meet my contact. Yeah, I actually kind of didn't expect any of you to show up here. Really, given how hot things have been.
MCA is clearly still suspicious and frustrated, but it's appearing like she's seeming less to be focused on Adam and more on just sort of thinking. And she starts mumbling something under her breath and looking side to side, just sort of getting a look at the area.
When were you supposed to meet your contact?
Tonight, like usual. Yeah,
Lee at this point goes ahead and reaches into his vest and pulls out the flask of booze.
Always with the booze.
It's dented, but he still has it.
Now here's the question: how much alcohol does this flask have again?
So if I'm going to go ahead, tucked away in a pocket is always a flask of good booze. There is always alcohol in it.
Okay.
That may have been metaphorical before, but ever since learning the method, he has new tricks.
The real question is how large this flask really is.
I mean, the flask itself is not large, but it might as well be bottomless at this point. No, not that large.
Just imagine this giant flask in his suit. It just pulls out. Okay. So Lee pulls it out. I imagine you offer it to him.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to drink right now.
Suit yourself.
In fact, a drink is kind of the last thing I want to do, because I headed out here to go to the bathroom, and I still have to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Lee just goes ahead and points over at MCA. After that greeting that you got, you still have to go?
Yeah, yeah. Can we, continue this after I,
go piss.
take a leak? Yeah, he was, jumps out over, he quickly scuttles his way over to, I guess, a designated pissing area, which is, a covered area. These people kind of thought of enough. It's kind of a shitty thing. It's probably a hole in the ground.
Yeah. Lee mimes taking a drink from his flask and puts it away.
I'm...
he goes ahead and looks over at Fran as she makes those noises. You think I'm going to drink on a concussion?
I don't know. You kind of seem like the person that would, really.
He shakes his head. No, you don't fuck around with concussions like that. Trust me, I'd love a drink right about now, but, no.
Yeah, I think we're all a bit concussed.
Yeah, MCA is still mumbling under her breath and looking around. And, suddenly, snaps and looks back at the rest of you and, the rest of the party and goes... Does anyone remember, what Adam's contact looked like?
All covered up like a bunch of the assholes that we just fought.
And looked like an actor. I mean, it was like he said he was Stefan,
right?
Like the famous actor.
Yeah, and the troop just rolled past here. They were, they drove past as the with the suits in pursuit, right before we fought them.
Mm-hmm.
She looks over to where Adam's being and says, "You think his contact might have ended up caught in that whole mess?"
I don't know.
Possible. Though, on that, I wanted to ask you something, Cass.
Hmm?
You did a thing in that fight that let you actually hurt them. Seriously.
She shrugs. Honestly, a lot of that whole fight was a bit of a blur.
Yeah, my point is that we're likely to run into them again. And do you know any other ways to hurt them?
It's kind of hard to take out the unliving without sunlight in some form.
Sunlight?
Yeah. So, and unless you know a martial art that allows you to throw balls of light out of your hands, that isn't a method.
Lee starts thinking, not unless you're talking about a bullshit one from a film that I've been in.
It depends. Does your muse allow you to use bullshit powers from films? Because she points at his hands. Kind of seems that way.
Yeah, so it doesn't quite work like that, though. I mean, knowing what I know now, I might be able to do that.
Why didn't the guns fire?
Oh, right. So, he kind of leans back. Okay, so how it works, or how it worked, was what I'd do is I'd take some aspect of the surroundings, or the muse does really. It's not entirely in my control. And
do you have any basic guide? Are you able to basically guide it in some way?
He nods and goes, "Yeah, I have some control over it, like I said, but it's never. It always does what I want for the most part, but it's never the same way twice. I could try and do something with fire. I've done things with fire before, and it's never been the same. Always different aspects of it."
She's thinking profoundly, as if she's coming up with different ways to break the power.
He goes, but when you taught MCA and I picked up a bit of the method, I started thinking about how it works, and I think I might be able to get more control of it now.
Huh. Do you want to demonstrate any of that?
Not right now, no. It can take a lot out of me, but what I did there is I took the metaphysical concept of gun.
Huh.
And I took it all into myself. So any gun there couldn't fire, because that's what a gun is. To them, to everyone but me in that fight, a gun was just a chunk of metal.
Interesting.
I don't know. I think that might be able to do something. MCA, you said that they're unliving?
Yes, they're not exactly zombies, but they're also, not vampires in the traditional sense that you might be imagining. But yeah, they are the living dead.
Okay. Yeah, I can think of a couple of concepts that I might be able to mine that might work on them.
All right.
I mean, if I'm lucky, I might be able to just grab the sun.
I
wouldn't take it all.
That seems like a really bad idea, honestly, but...
Sounds like a easy street to apocalypse.
It isn't. I've done it before.
Would mind?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that it's localized?
Well, it can be, and again, I never did it before like I did just there. That was a completely new way of using it. What I would do there is I'd go ahead and I'd make the link to it and use that to fill the martial art rather than going ahead and taking the concept and concentrating it in myself. How much do you know about traditional Chinese martial arts?
No.
Look, if you really want the lecture on this, I can totally do that, but
I'm
just trust me.
Not a martial artist. So.
Yeah, he nods. Just trust me when I say that there's all sorts of different movements and concepts that are all built into it, and that I have internalized in me that I think come out through it.
Adam scuttles his way back. I like using scuttle as a verb this session. You hear the crunch. He's like, what y'all talking about?
Metaphysics and punching people.
Cool. Yeah. So, where's the other two? Did they not make it?
They're not with
Lee
us.
goes ahead and hooks a thumb back at the column of smoke.
Yeah.
Still alive, but they're not going to be joining us anytime soon.
That sucks, I guess. I mean, probably better off in custody anyways than the type of shit that we're probably going to be facing up against anyhow.
Yeah, MCA shrugs. I'd say, all things considered, they probably, we're probably about as well off now as we were before. We don't have, we don't have their help, but we also don't have some of the trouble they were bringing down on us. So, trying to, look on the positive side. It looks like things will, probably not be too much harder than they were before.
Yeah. Gosh.
Lee sighs. I was really hoping for getting something better out of Edward.
Me too.
MCA shrugs. Boy was From what I've heard, the boy was always a bit hit or miss when it came to his powers. And
I guess he never really hit, did he?
yeah.
Lee shakes his head at Cass. That's not what I meant. Though I suppose the fact that the suits went ahead and blew up a bus in the middle of DC isn't going to do them any favors.
Wow. By the looks of it, it was a ghost town, so...
A lot of CCTV. Lee looks over at MCA. Cass, can I borrow a burner phone sometime soon? I need to make a call into my brother's.
And Cass is like, yeah, let me just go and get it out of the car. Oh, wait, no.
Yeah. Cass looks into the thing and like checks to see if she still has the previous burner she had on her intact. Actually, I'm just going to roll this one myself on careful just to see if it she managed to keep it from being smashed to smithereens. That's going to be a total of 0, a net total of 0. So, wait, actually, hold on. No, God damn, I need to get dice that aren't as confusing to read. The 4 and the 5 and Roman numerals are really fucking easy to confuse on D6s.
You know what? Straight up, I decided to just go ahead and cut out the middleman and get some fake dice.
Okay, probably not the worst idea in the world. But okay, actually, so that's a positive 2. So yeah, she has her burner is still intact, but she flips it open, and frowns. Battery's kind of low.
It can wait.
She looks over at Adam and says, "Your contact. We saw the troop earlier. They were they were sort of tangentially involved in that whole incident back there. So I'm not 100% certain if your contact's going to be able to meet us tonight."
I'm sure he can meet us.
She frowns and asks, "Isn't he with the troop?"
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know. He just seems weirdly distant from them.
Well, here's hoping he's in a smoldering pile of rubble on the side of the road.
Yeah. Sure then. I've been in hot water lately with my dad, so I kind of need to get back to him. So, do you have a place to stay for the night? I don't think it's best to head out right now.
We were going
especially.
Lee just goes ahead and spreads his arms to encompass the tent city. With such charming accommodations, how could we go wrong?
We were going to look for a car before this whole place locked down, but she looks around in the area. And honestly, at this point, it's sort of it might be too late to escape at this point.
Yeah. Do you want to stay in our tent? It's pretty large. I can.
She
talk.
just shakes her head.
Yeah. Thought so.
Yeah, we'll be around if you need us, but
yeah,
we'll stay out of your
tonight when the sun goes away. I'll give out a signal. Well, I'll probably just walk in the middle of the place. Hopefully they won't notice, and if they do, I'll be out for a bathroom break again.
All right, we'll keep an eye on the area then.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm gonna run for now, but I'll see y'all in a couple hours, I guess.
We'll see you soon. And she kind of turns to the others and signals for them to move on.
Yeah, he walks a bit solemnly into the tent before you hear, "Oh, hey, I'm back."
Yeah. So
And then someone did.
Yeah.
You had dirt all over you. Did you fall in?
Yeah. So like while that's going on, we're going to move further away so that anyone who happens to look out won't like to see us right there.
Yeah. Now we need to find a place to sleep. Well, unless we don't want to sleep. That's probably not good.
MCA looks at Fran a little surprised and asks, "Are you seriously, feeling like you can sleep right now?"
Good point.
She chuckles softly and goes to find a spot for them where they can watch the tent unobserved.
Yeah.
All right, so we're getting up on hours. Do you want to take a short break?
Oh yeah, totally.
Sure.
Okay, we will be back. Okay, just
All right.